Good morning, students. How y'all doing today? What's up, Keegan? What's up, Arnav? Getting ready for the massive famine? I looked into that. Turns out it sounds like it's about 300 million on the verge of starvation, which is double the amount of people who were starving last year, but nonetheless probably not going to affect all 7.5 billion people on the planet. Aaron, you're kind of met today. That's all right. It's Thursday. At least it's almost Friday. This is true, Arnav. News is very selective about the things that they know will incite viewership. So even with big stories, they don't talk about them because most people don't rub enough brain cells together to care. I don't know, no. The test, is it hard? No, it's about the same consistency as every other test. All right, well, it is 7:41, so I'm going to get started here. A couple of things to let you know about where we're heading there next. So we're taking the test today. That's pretty much priority number one. But I did want to let you know. Yes, Arnav, I did know the unemployment rate is at about 20% as a product of the COVID. It'd be interesting to see what happens with the economy here. I don't know if I agree with that. The Great Depression was a little bit different. Different economy, productive economy based in manufacturing. And people who are unemployed right now are people who, the thing that makes it different is that during the Great Depression, Arnav, there were a number of different things happening behind the scenes in terms of banks and various other. I'm not saying that we won't go through an economic recession, but the Great Depression happened because of a number of different financial practices that were happening at that time that were really not very regulated at all. And, really since the Great Depression, even though there has been some deregulation of the economy in the last 40 years, and we're seeing a widening gap between the rich and the poor, the fact of the matter is that from a productive standpoint, one of the reasons that the Great Depression happened is because the companies continued to produce, outstripping consumerism, and because of something else happening called buying stocks on speculation, and there were, I could go into detail on it, but without getting off track. But the idea basically being that when you buy stocks on margin and you're speculating on margin and stuff, it created a scenario where a lot of companies were buying into the stock market and so on, and they all went under. But part of the Great Depression came because there was no like federal protectionary programs in place. Like people, when they went to the bank, their money was like just gone. And these days, all money in the bank is protected by the FDIC, and so up to like $300,000, your bank money's insured, right? So you're not just going to instantly lose all of your money in the bank. There were other factors that went into the Great Depression that is not exactly comparing apples and oranges, but I'm not saying that we couldn't go through a market contraction and see a recession. I do think that that's probably going to happen, but I'm not so much of a doom. I get the sense you're maybe a little bit of a doomsday guy. The U.S. has too much debt to be saved, like trillions. True, but you also have to think about the interconnectedness of the economy these days, right? Because, the fact that we're in debt almost in some sense further necessitates that the United States continues to exist to pay off that debt. That is to say that while we have all of this debt, and we are also the number one producer of all of the most important tech industries and so on and so forth on the planet, there's a vested interest for other countries not to see the United States fail. But we got to talk about some other things here. So let's just jump straight to what we need to talk about. Number one, I'm really just doing this so that I can tell you that, first of all, you have this test today. You'll have an hour to take the test. After an hour, that should be plenty of time, okay, to get the test done. So you'll have an hour to do the test. It needs to be done today. It cannot be done any other time than today. And it has to be done by 3 p.m. If you don't want to do the test this morning, okay, if you don't want to do the test this morning and you want to use this time to study, that's fine, but you get one attempt and it's timed. And if you botch it, that's the only attempt you get. So make sure that you do it. How many questions are on the test? I think it's not on quizzes, it's on Canvas. It's not published yet. You won't be able to see it until I publish it. I think it's like, I don't know how many questions it is, 50 or something like that. The next thing. So unit 2 in this class is talking about the scientific revolution. So the next content that we're going to be covering, you won't have time to rewatch all the videos. You mean which videos are you talking about? The lecture videos? That'll take you hours. Don't do that. Waste of time. Yeah, the test is timed, 60 minutes. You have 1 hour to do the test. You have 1 hour to do it. So, I don't know if it's 50, it might be 40. I don't remember how many questions it is. You'll have plenty of time to finish it. Trust me. I've been doing this a long time, so I know you'll have enough time. But just be mindful of your time. So next unit, this is what I want to talk about. Next unit is going to be the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment and the scientific revolution are kind of flip sides of the same coin. Be talking about, you got it, no problem. Thanks, Gareth. This test is all about unit 1. Next unit is about scientific revolution and enlightenment. They're flip sides of the same coin. The next unit, it'll follow very much kind of a similar pattern. We'll do the same kinds of things that we've been doing. You'll have assignments that'll go along each day with kind of the things that we talked about that day. We'll do some vocab. We'll do some online stuff, and so yeah, you should be. It'll be a good unit. You'll learn a lot. Talk about various scientific thinkers from the scientific revolution, and then the Enlightenment is kind of extending upon the teachings of the scientific revolution, and instead of like looking around at nature, looking around at like the physical sciences like biology or astronomy or physics or whatever. In the Enlightenment, people started looking at kind of human nature, because the scientific revolution was about trying to explain natural phenomena using known, predictable understandings about things. The Enlightenment's kind of looking at the human spirit and how societies best function, and trying to come up with philosophies surrounding reason, surrounding the best forms of government, the best ways of crime to, figure out crime and punishment and those kinds of things. It's all about liberty and the pursuit of happiness and reason and those kinds of ideas. So that's really where we're heading next in world history. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a preview of that. I do not want to take up all of your time here. What I'm going to be doing is opening up the test for you. In fact, let me do that right now. If you go to Canvas, I'm telling you where to find the test right here. If you go to Canvas and you click on the Quizzes tab, you will now see in the Quizzes tab something that says Unit 1 Exam, and that is the test. I want to remind you, if it's discovered, and I have my fancy teacher wizardry that I can use, if it's discovered that you cheated on the exam, this will be bad. So don't do it. I take it seriously. If there's one thing I take seriously, it's integrity in the classroom. So please be an honest student, do your own work. Don't be texting or looking up answers, whatever. Just be an honest human being. Imagine your grandmother is standing over your shoulder watching you take the test, and grandma would be very disappointed if she saw you cheating on this exam or any exam. So go ahead and at this time, get that test done. That is today's course, and it should be done by the time that you go to, fourth period today. But if you butcher it and you don't start on time or whatever, and you realize, oh my gosh, I was studying and I forgot, the test will remain open until 2 p.m. because you have an hour to do it. All right. If you want to do it this afternoon, that'll be on you. But if you forget about it and you don't do it, you'll take a 0 on it. It will close at 3, regardless of what time you started it. So you just need to be aware of that and be responsible and make good decisions so that you get this done. My recommendation to you is you sit right down right now, use the class time that I'm giving you, and get this done. It'll close at 3, but if you want to give yourself an hour, you better start it at 2. That's my point. You can't finish the test in 1 minute. You started at 2:59, you'll take the test for 1 minute and it'll close on you. So I'm just letting you know, you can use, if you're really freaked out and you're like, I'm not ready for this test, you can use this time to study. But I highly recommend that you use the time to get the test done. That way you don't have to worry about the rest of the day. So with that, folks, we will see you back here tomorrow morning, and we will begin our discussion of the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment, and there will be a whole host of new assignments with that. Oh, what are we doing for attendance? Thank you. Yeah, I forgot about that. For attendance today, why don't you tell me? Oh, gosh, what's a good question? I don't even know what I've been asking classes anymore. There's, what's a good question? Yesterday was my birthday. When's everybody's birthday? Hey, thank you, Jacob. October 3rd. Holy cow. Hey, thanks, Jillian. Wow, okay, so let's see. Michael just had a birthday. We just missed Michael's birthday. Let's see here. Angela's birthday's coming up here. Hey, thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. What did I do for my birthday? I worked from 7 in the morning until 9 at night. It wasn't exactly the most enthralling birthday of all time, but that's all right. Today's your dad's birthday. That's cool. Hopefully you got him a card or something like that. Who else is going to see here? April, October. Aaron's is only a month away. Neil's is just after that. A couple of January birthdays in there. Cool. Very good, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Get that test done, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning. All right. Have a good one.